So you guys saw we selected Joe Alt. Very excited to make the pick. Feel like we got a guy that's going to come in and really improve our team. And he's big, he's physical, he's tough, smart, durable, outstanding player in college who's just scratching the surface. And really excited to add him, and look forward to getting him here tomorrow.
Where does he?
The coach.
Just echo what Joe says, and I also want to just give a shout out to Joe, all of our scouts, everybody in personnel, the Spanos family. I mean, the amount of work, dedication. You know what it was like just sitting in that room, and just everybody giving their best for the Los Angeles Chargers. And Joe was a master class of leadership in bringing the best out of all of us who were, many working tirelessly.
Good. So obviously, Joe was a left tackle
Yeah.
in college. Where does he fit for you guys? Do you think he can play right tackle? Is that the idea?
Well, he began actually as a right tackle in college, and then obviously played left the last 2 years, or 2.5 years. But he started out as a right tackle.
Yeah. We don't know yet. I mean, it's those things are to be determined. Count on us playing our best 5 offensive linemen, and what position each guy plays. Within the offense, within the offensive line is to be determined.
He's going to be a tackle, or
He's a tackle.
Yeah, he's a tackle.
He's a tackle.
Yeah.
Joe, I guess the one question everybody would have is why offensive tackle at 5 when it looks like you've got a needed receiver, and there were a couple good ones there.
Yeah, there were, and I think I said it from the beginning when we started talking about the draft. We're going to take the best player available for the Chargers, and that's what we did today. And that's what we're going to do at 37 and every other pick we have. So obviously he helps our team, and he helps us get better, and that's what we want to do. We want to get better with every pick, and that's what we feel like we did.
Just specifically with Joe Alt, just tell us a little bit about his play style, how in the NFL, how it will translate.
Yeah, you watch him come off the ball in the run game. Obviously, we're going to run the ball here, and he drives off the line of scrimmage. You watch him move players over 3 gaps on his down blocks. He's very athletic, excellent range, high-level competitor, and certainly an athlete as a pass protector. The ability for a guy his size to bend, and you see it on film, you see him recover, but then when you watch him at the combine, watch him at pro days, I mean, it's exceptional, and really excited to add that. It's just an elite level athlete for the man his size. He can do a lot of things, and he's just scratching the surface. He's 21 years old, just turned 21 in February. So you're talking about a guy who's still growing and maturing, and just the upside with him is tremendous.
How easy a decision was this for you and the club to make?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How easy of a decision was this for you and the club to make?
Yeah, it was a unanimous decision, and it was, like I alluded to earlier, I mean, it was all the work that went in, the player that was on the top of our board. Nobody rated higher than Joe Alt, the player when it came to our selection that we picked. And I know the question is going to come up, and you're going to say, like, what about a weapon? What about offensive linemen? We look at as weapons. That group, when we talk about attacking, and we talk about attacking on offense, offensive line is the tip of the spear.
Jim, from both a skill set perspective, from a personality perspective, how does he kind of get you closer maybe to the team that you envision having here?
Oh, our team, there's going to be more guys added. Competitors welcomed. Any country in the world, any state in our country, any team, competitors welcomed.
Did you, by the way, ever cross paths with his father?
Just play. I think we did play against each other. And I remember, Dad, great player, and it was interesting when you watch them the two at the draft. I mean, I remember Joe Alt being like a 6'8" man, and when they stood up together, our Joe Alt is he's a legitimate 6'8". I mean, he is. and it's not just big. It's not just power. I mean, there's extreme athleticism in the bend that he has in the ankles, the knees, the hips, and a tremendous competitor. So yeah, good job.
How close did you come to maybe looking at a different option with the trade and some of those calls coming in? Did they continue to come in until you guys set the pick in?
So yeah, we had a few calls leading up to the draft. We did have one call when we were on the clock. We talked through it, and ultimately didn't feel like it was worth trading back and passing on Joe.
Joe, there's a report about you guys getting calls to trade
Justin
Herbert, and that's something that happened, and that's something you've never considered?
No. We had at the combine, I had some people ask me, would we consider it, and they were quickly shot down. No, yeah, that is never an option.
Just when you talk about him being a competitor, what are some of the things that you see that tell you, what's inside here?
Yeah, playing every game. Every game is junior year. Every game is sophomore year. I'm pretty sure he played every game. Started 8 of 11 his freshman year. And he's there every day. He's there every game. That tells me he's a competitor. And really good intel from Mike Elston, our defensive line coach, who was coaching at Notre Dame Joe's freshman year, and also Chris O'Leary, who was just at Notre Dame coaching there. So we had the kind of intel that is best to have, people that were right inside the building, who were there with him every single day, and not just the competitive part too, but I mean the athleticism. I mean, might I say the word freaky was thrown out, and for somebody that size, that's rare, and we don't plan on picking at 5 again. So I think the way Joe and our scouts and our personnel department and our owners viewed it. Okay, we're there now. Let's get a player that's of that caliber.
Just with Rashawn Slater, is he your left tackle, or is it possible that?
Like I said, it's to be determined. All that is to be determined. What our best 5 is, but Rashawn Slater's the left tackle, and don't read it into we love Pipkins as a player. All the guys, when we start talking tackle, I mean, as I expressed in a lot of the meetings, I would play with 5 tackles, if we could. I mean, the big, long, athletic, strong guys. I mean, don't rule anything out. Who's going to play where? We're going to play the best 5 that we have on the team.
And then as you guys were scouting Joe Alt, both of you, if you want to answer this, what was your assessment of specifically his anchor in pass protection?
I think it's good. So when you're 6'8", sometimes you give a little bit of ground, and when you're 6'4", you give some ground. When you watch Joe, sometimes as an offensive lineman, you don't get caught in great position, right? When you watch him get caught in a bad position, his ability to recover and get back down and anchor and front up late, that's what he can do. Everyone's going to get knocked back some on occasion. He doesn't get knocked back very often. When it does happen, he's got that freakish athleticism to recover and get his knees bent and flex those ankles and get back down. So I think he does an outstanding job.
And that freakish athleticism, I think he ran the fastest time in a while among an offensive lineman at the combine. Just how much of a value is speed among offensive linemen?
There are some offensive linemen in the past that have run 4.7s, right, and they haven't been very good on film. I think when you see his game speed translate to the film, and when you watch him get up to the second level, when you watch him get out on screens or short side pulls and run downfield, and he controls his body. So speed's important. Quickness off the ball is very important, but body control and ability to adjust and get to your blocking space is what he offers.
Yeah. And as Joe said earlier, 21 years old, there's a ton of upside. This not a finished product. Even you could tell from the pro day, Chad Alexander came back. I mean, raving about the pro day that Joe had. He was even working on his set and improving his set, and changed some of his set from the season to his pro day, and he was right. You know, we watched the pro day workout. It was legit. So to be that good where he's at, I mean, this is a high ceiling and a really high floor player. I mean, just exactly what you pray for, you wish for. I mean, this is a great piece, as I said. You know, starts up front, tip of the spear of our attack with our offensive lineman. He's going to be a tremendous piece.
Jim, I know you said don't read too much into it, but where do you see Trey Pipkins at now? Do you see him as a tackle? Do you see like you could move him around different places, or what's kind of your guys' vision for him?
Yeah, and Trey is. I mean, I think he's one of our 5 best right now, and that's not going to change. You know, and that includes Joe Alt on our football team. Been, you know, extremely impressed with Trey, and his also has that kind of freaky athleticism, and also building the strength and power to match that athleticism. I mean, that's you know, I would predict that there's a spot in the starting 5 for Trey Pipkins.
You guys talk about wanting a physical team, wanting to be able to run the ball and have Justin Herbert at that capacity. Adding a guy like Joe Alt, you know, day 1 in the draft, where do you guys feel like you are in building that team that you guys envisioned when you came here?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that one and then let Joe finish it. But it's not just a running game with the offensive line. I mean, they protect. That's why they get paid so much money. You know, the offensive linemen and the tackles in this league. I mean, that because the quarterback in the passing game has got to be able to finish a throwing motion. I mean, that comes from Bill Walsh. I'm stealing that one. I didn't invent that one, but you know, that's, you know, 6'8", you know, long arms. You know, I don't think he's ever been hurt that I know of. This is a great piece to add into the attack. And that, when I say the attack, that's passing game and running game.
You mentioned he's best player available.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he on your board?
He was the best player available.
So what separated him from, obviously, like different positions, but you have to obviously set up the board. What separated him over?
There was nobody higher. There was nobody
Right.
higher
That's what I'm saying.
than Joe.
So
The receivers that were available, what separated Joe Hall?
We just felt like he was the best player available on the board. So like we have the board, and then we stack them 1 through 200, and we stack it based on who we believe is the best player. So what separates him? He's a tackle versus a receiver, certainly, but there's other great players on the board too. But we felt like he was the best of the great players.
You said this was unanimous, this was
Yeah.
an easy decision. Can you kind of describe that? There's sometimes GMs will talk about debate about picks.
Yeah. So you know, we try to have all the debates on all the players before the draft. I think I mentioned that in some previous conversations with you guys. We get up there, the board's set, and the board's set, the order's set, and all the conversations are had beforehand. So
I guess I meant, when you were having the conversation about when you were setting the board,
yeah.
can you take me through that conversation, like how the conversation went about when you guys were ranking it, if that makes sense?
There'll be so many conversations to take you
Yeah.
through there.
I mean,
This,
Jesus.
you can't believe the amount of hours that go into it. I mean, and yeah, Joe's in there way, you know, more than everybody, and then we're all in there a lot. John Spanos is in every meeting, and I mean, the 2 days leading up to the draft, I mean, we had practice, 5.5-hour session, and then another 5.5-hour session straight. In those, he set a record. There was only 1 pee break
In 2 days.
taken in those 2 days. So I mean, to go through every conversation, that'd be impossible.
You just quickly, it's like you just talk about the value of each position, the value of the players, and just who you see higher, you know, and you know, the whys and hows, but it's a normal process for us, you know, and we talk about it and then we stack them, you know.
Was he one of the 30 that you brought in for the pre-draft meeting, or did you get everything during practice?
We had a chance to obviously visit with him at the combine, and then Mike Devlin and Chad were out there, and Pat Ryan, I believe, were at the pro day, and so we met with him there. We had a great feel from him, talking to him in Indy. You don't have to talk to him long to feel good about him. I know that, and then obviously with 2 coaches on the staff, we felt like we knew him really well, so no reason to bring him in.
What was the conversation like tonight when you called him?
He was excited, you know. He was. I asked him, you know, if his dad could wear powder blue. He didn't think it would be a problem, so we felt like we could take him at that point, you know.
Just as far as the receiver room, is that a position that you guys feel like you need to address at some point between now and the start of the season, considering what you have?
Yeah, we're going to be addressing all positions.
Yeah, we're gonna address more than just the receivers too. You know, it's absolutely. You know, I don't think you look at anyone, like I've said this before. You look at, certainly there's more needs at different spots, but there's needs at every position, and that's why you live by. That's why we're living by the best player philosophy, because again, you're never one player away and you're never one position away. So you got to improve every single position on your team for every opportunity you get. So, yeah, we're going to still be working on a few of the positions, you know. And we're not done with offensive line either, you know. And so we're just going to keep trying to make the team better.
Joe, with the offensive line, is there, both of you, I guess you guys talked about, you know, the 5 best and you guys will play anywhere. Is there anyone on the line who is locked in to their position, whether it be tackle, guard, center, or are you saying anyone can play anywhere at this point?
Well, I think to play center, you have to be able to snap, right? So that's definitely gives those guys that are used to snapping an advantage. But you know, I'll let Coach answer the rest of it.
Yeah, Rashawn Slater, he's locked in as the left tackle. No, I think no debate needed for that. Love him, and I'd also, I mean, just the way the questions are going here, I mean, like, let's not bet against Quentin Johnson and Josh Palmer, you know, and Dede and Simi, and there'll be more. So.
Jim, what was the meetings with Joe like at the combine? Were you able to do anything on the board with him, or just with the 15 minutes? It's tough to kind of get a sense of that.
Yeah, so the way we have it set up, the majority of our interview is film and board, because we want to get a feel for the players' intelligence, football intelligence, and acumen. So the goal is to get them up, get them talking on the board. But you know, if you guys had a chance to watch Coach work in that room, now he pulls out the best of every player, and he pulls out their personalities and their competitiveness and gets them going. And so you get a great feel for everything, really, with the player. You know, is that his energy, his passion for the game, and then we get him on that board and start talking ball. And the way Mike and all of our coaches did it, that, you know, he gives props to the scouts. Watching these guys in film sessions, his coaches, they put on a clinic now. I mean, it was impressive with all our position coaches being up there, drawing out what the player knows, talking ball with them. So we had our 45 interviews at the combine, and we felt like we had a good feel for the players we spoke to.
You said that you felt like there would probably be excitement, anxiety, pressure, like all of it, doing your first draft together. Now that you've gotten the round 1 pick out of the way, like, where is your mindset? Can you take a deep breath as you get into the next rounds, or?
To me, it's over when it's over, and we're not even close to being over. This is certainly a big pick, you know, for us sitting up here, but the next 8 picks are huge. So I think the excitement will continue through. Anxiety, I don't know if there was ever really anxiety other than, you know, make sure I don't screw up down his number or anything like that, you know. But other than that, you know, like I said, the stack was set, the rankings were set, and, you know, let the guys go off the board and pick our pick.
Yeah, and I just add I had no anxiety whatsoever, and that process really came from all the hard work that everybody did, and just how they were all giving it their best for the Chargers. But mainly, we got a guy in Joe Hortiz. there's no question about it. Knows every guy, has watched tape on every single player, and he's the one that was bringing out our best in these meetings. Never missed a name, never missed a beat. Even when he was taking a bite of the Chick-fil-A sandwich, it's like it just rolled, and so I had no anxiety whatsoever. And my brother texted me, after the pick, and he said that's who I would have taken if he was at that pick. So yeah, I mean that's a great debate. It'd be great. I mean that's part of everybody's the cool thing. I mean there's great players. I mean some of them rated like right there together, and you get to sit in judgment, as we go, who whether it was the right decision or not. But, I just say from my perspective, watching Joe, work this draft in our personnel department, all our scouts and our coaches, as Joe said, I mean, I have total confidence and trust that we got it right. And then you got to go make it right. And I believe that, we got a great partner in doing that in Joe Alt.
What was your response to your brother's text?
Let's see. Oh, I haven't texted him back yet. what would be an appropriate response there? Thanks.
Okay, so
Thumbs up. I'll just go with the thumb up.
Joe, you've got
I'll give him a pound. I'll give him a pound.
you've got an early pick in day 2. You've
Sure.
got some multiple picks in later rounds. In Baltimore, you guys were pretty good at moving up late into the first round and getting a 7th pick. You feel like you got capital here to possibly do that?
I'd say all options are open. Definitely.
And then Jim, it happened while you were coming in here, but
Yeah.
just thoughts on JJ?
I watched. I stayed and watched it. Thrilled that I've been having conversation with JJ. That's where he wanted to go. That's where he had his heart set. I'm just so happy for him. Love him like a son, and I'm just, I was praying and pulling for it to work out the way he wanted it to work out, and the stars aligned. And congratulations to Minnesota. They got themselves a great player.